Hey there, it's Val. Today I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for April 2024 and I am going with a Six of Crows / Shadow and Bone theme. It is sort of a mashup of League Bardugo's Grishaverse as a whole, but for the colour scheme I have picked blacks and reds, which sort of leans more towards Six of Crows. I feel like most of the elements that I have incorporated throughout this theme are also Six of Crows themed, but you will see the occasional Shadow and Bone themed element seep through. For example, you can see that there's the serpent from Ruin and Rising in the center, and I have written the month April in the middle of the serpent. I've also got a wing which can be used to interpret both Six of Crows and the bird from Ruin and Rising, and I have got a sun in the middle of the goblet in the center, which symbolizes Alina the Sun Summoner. I've also obviously integrated Kaz's cane in the design, and I've got a few cards spread throughout the cover pages which obviously come from the Six of Crows duology. Moving on to the code page, I've got the code "When you can't beat the odds, change the game", and for the O in the odds I have used a bomb to symbolize violin, and for the game I have tried to write it in the form of a gun. I'm not sure if it is that evident, but I tried my best, and my goal with this calligraphy was not only to include elements that symbolize the characters, but also to incorporate both Violin and Jasper in the same design. I have obviously gone on with the theme of the playing cards throughout the code page as well, and I have just drawn very random cards. They don't mean anything. I've just picked random numbers as I saw fit. Lastly, to finish up the cover page, I'm adding in a few details and sparkles and swirls with my jelly roll, and finishing up with a touch of washi tape and stickers. For the next setups, I am putting up a brain dump and my gratitude / mood tracker. I have completely omitted the monthly overview page from this month's setup, and I believe I'll not be using it anymore in any of my future setups either, because I've noticed I'm not using it a lot. What I used instead is I've got a monthly calendar pinned to my bulletin board. For my gratitude tracker, I'm going to be using dotted paper because I use a blank journal, and the setup I have in mind for this month will not work very well with a blank journal. I'm writing down the dates on the dotted paper, and then I'll be drawing a feather next to the dates. So the feathers will be used as the mood trackers, and they are obviously a reference to Six of Crows. And then I'll be writing the gratitude next to the feather for each corresponding date. Just finishing up with some washi tape and stickers and adding the key for the mood tracker, which is just a few shades of greys and blacks. And we move on to the next setup, which is going to be my time tracker. So once again, for my time trackers I use a printed template, and it acts as my study tracker / productivity tracker / sleep tracker, because I track whatever I do throughout the day, whatever main activities I do throughout the day in this tracker, to kind of see where my time is going. I have not been the most consistent with it lately, but I definitely want to change it, so I'll keep including it in all my monthly setups, so I at least have it there and I can fill it when I notice that I'm not being very consistent with it. The setup I'm doing is very simple. I am just scrapbooking brown and red scraps of paper, a few stickers. I'm drawing a peacock feather to hint towards an edge, and then I've also drawn an arrow because of the coat, the hearts, and hearts like an arrow, it needs aim to land true. Next, I'm drawing my assessment tracker, and it's a very simple setup. I have not done anything fancy for this one. I just wanted to have a place to sort of track my assessments, as I have quite a few deadlines coming in, and the layout for this one is pretty simple. I'm kind of creating a basic to-do list with all the requirements I need to take care of, and then I'm creating a tracker to track my progress through various stages of the assignment, be it drafting, editing, research, and everything else. With that, I'm moving on to the weekly trackers. If you're wondering where the writing tracker has been this month, I have simply scraped it off because, again, I was not using it every day. What I will do is, whenever I track my writing in the time tracker, I'll just write my word count on top of the time taken. So I feel like that might be a great way of tracking both the time I'm spending on writing and the word count I'm getting in. For the weekly setups, I'm using a rolling weekly setup like every month, where I set up a general to-do list for the entire week on one side of the setup, and then I create a small box for every day of the week in case there are any specific tasks that need to be highlighted for the day. Also, for the sake of simplicity, I incorporate my habit trackers into the rolling weekly setup. For the mini boxes for this week, I'm drawing small little symbols from a normal playing card deck to kind of go on with the theme, and then I'm writing in the dates for my rolling weekly thing, and then I'm just doodling a little heart because I feel like we did not talk much about Nina, and she is definitely one of the most underrated crows in my opinion, other than Matthias, I suppose. Sort of depends on the person you're talking to, but yes, that's our Nina Zenik representation on this theme. For the next page, week 2, we are doing a similar scrapbooky layout, and I am still doing the weekly to-do list on the left. On the right though, I added code this time, the same image code I talked about earlier. The heart is like an arrow, it demands aim to land true, and I just opt for simple dividers for the days of the week instead of drawing fully fledged boxes. For week 3, I'm taking the scrapbooking up a notch and completely covering both pages in an array of scrapbooking paper. I'm going back to putting the rolling weekly on the right, and I'm drawing circles for the daily to-do lists. I'll be setting up week 4 later on during the month, so it is not featured in this setup, but you can just see me putting on the initial for the days of the week, adding in the dates, and with that it is a wrap up on this part of the setup. I have also drawn silhouettes of buildings in the rolling weekly page, but I'm quite planning on using my white jelly roll for the bottom half of this page. Here's the final flip through of this month's setup. If you have any suggestions for me on books or authors you'd like me to feature in a monthly setup, please do let me know. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you have a very lovely and productive month.